So now I want to show you this really neat thing with templates. We're going to get into it for a second. Okay, so let's file new. Let's create a brand new document. So when you do that file new, again, your recent documents, any saved documents, mobile, they have some different sizes that are already like preset for you. If you need to make something for iPhone X, it gives you that artboard to do it. It's really cool. And it also has this thing called templates, which I think is new. But there are all these templates that you can start from. Now, for me, I'm not a huge template girl because I like to create something, but sometimes it gives you ideas, and that's okay to start with ideas. So let's go to print, and we're going to pick one of these templates, okay? And my subscription to Adobe gives you Adobe stock, some of these free, not a lot of them, which I didn't realize that till today, which they're such, they want all your money. But anyway, it's additional for Adobe stock. But there are some free templates that Illustrator does offer you. So let's just click on a template. And we can see a preview. I'm like, oh, that looks cool. Okay, let's download it. We'll download it.
Okay, so your subscription of Adobe does include some free templates, like
within
this is
Illustrator.
one that is free.
Yeah, within Illustrator. But if you go to Adobe stock, you won't be able to get anything unless you pay more, which is craziness.
Oh.
But that's okay. But let's just say you want to start. You're like, I like that, but I want to change some things. Okay.
Yeah.
So I downloaded it. I'm opening it. Do you see how the font? I don't have that font, right? So because of that, that's how it looks when you don't have a font. Okay. So, oh, they gave me the font. Oh, they must have downloaded from Adobe. Okay. Automatically. Okay. So here it is. So I like it, but I want to change some things, right? So it looks like if I click on this, it's like everything's in these layers. Okay, I see what they did there. Okay, so they have this layer on top, right? But I don't want to change that layer. But I really want to get to the S, but I don't want to move this out of the way because I don't think I'll be able to put it back in the right spot. So if you click on something, you can lock anything. If your mind, anything with Adobe, and as we learn more, everything's layers, everything. They did a good job of carrying some of these themes in all the programs. Illustrator is layers. Let me show you. We have a layers panel. Let's go ahead and open it up. Where is it? Okay, so here we go. So I opened up the layers panel here. So just show
you just went to Windows, like
yes.
window layer.
Yep, I went to window, layers.
Okay.
So any of your tabs are basically going to be here. Anything you need to look for basically going to be under window because you're opening up that window.
Yeah.
Okay. So I can, when I have my layers panel open, and again, a broad theme as we enter the Adobe world, the way that they built everything is in layers. So Illustrator has layers. Photoshop, when we get into Photoshop, you'll see it has layers. InDesign, same thing. Even with Premiere, when we get into video editing, same thing. Okay, so if your brain can start thinking in layers, which you probably already have that brain anyway from what work you've done, but that's what you just always remember that. So this here is a layer, or this piece is a layer that's on top, right? Control Z, I want to put it back where it was. I just want to lock this layer, okay? When I don't want to move it out of the way, but I also don't want to move it every single time I'm trying to get to the S for summer. So I make sure I highlight the top layer. I can look at my layers panel and make sure that and I can turn it on and off too, okay? That's one thing you can do. You can turn it on and off so I can get to the summer party. Or you can click on it and then control 2, which I don't know what's 2, but 2 is lock. So control 2 means lock. So now it's there. It's not turned off, but you see right here how there's a little lock on it?
Yep.
Okay. that means it's just a lock layer. If I want to unlock it, you can click here, on and off, okay? If you want to unlock it when you don't have the layers panel open, excuse me, then you can control 2 to lock it. And like, okay, well, now I don't want it locked anymore. So you do object, unlock all. Okay. So now it's unlocked. Okay. So there's a couple different ways you could do that. But I want to keep it there, but I just want to lock it. So I'm going to go over here and on that layer, lock it. Okay. So now I get to summer. Good. This is what I wanted to touch anyway. But there's something else I'm touching that I don't want to touch. I don't want to touch that background. So do you see how it makes me click on it? I'm going to lock it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now the background, finally, I don't want to touch the background. Sometimes it can get annoying because you're like, what am I touching and why does it keep moving? But when you just, when you're locking everything, it's just like, I just want to get to this one thing and you'll get to it eventually. Okay. So here
And
we
do like
are.
one thing at a time. Would you
Exactly.
recommend that? Like, well, I guess like you don't need to lock everything that if it's not making you touch it, but
Yeah.
I guess you could like lock everything and then just unlock what you want to
Yeah.
work on at the same time. I mean, I guess it depends on the design too.
Yeah, you absolutely can do that. That's a great idea because sometimes like there's 3 things that I'm locking for some reason. Like I don't even know what this is. What is this? I'm moving something, but I can't. Oh, okay, they did that. Okay. All right, so let's say now we've got these different things that we can, every time we move, we see different things highlighted. So let's change your club into Ocean's Edge, right? So we just highlight it. Okay, do you see what I did? I used my text tool, I highlighted it, and I changed it. So simple,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I want it bigger. Oh, but I don't want it like that. I don't want it distorted. So what do I have to click on my keyboard so it won't be distorted when I pull it? Do you remember?
You hold shift, right?
Yeah, got it, sis. So I hold shift, okay? All right, well, this is good. I like how 26 June looks, yada, yada, yada. So I'll lock this. I want that locked. But I want to change this color of this little sunburst. Right now it's pink. How do I change this to red?
Uh,
Take your best guess.
well, do you click on like where this color? Oh, I forgot you're not seeing my screen. Would
Yeah.
you go to like this, like that square of pink there and click on that and then
Uh-huh.
it'll open.
That's one way. That's excellent. Excellent. That's one way you can do it. You can click on the color and then you have all of these options, right?
Uh-huh. Oh,
So
I
you
guess
can
that's
just
not what you showed me though.
yeah, but that works. There's more than one way to do it. You can also go to swatches and do the same thing. But you see how my swatches are limited because they only limited it to these colors. But you can
Uh-huh.
always go to what if I want to get more colors? Say I want to get the Pantone colors. What do I click on within this window?
Let me zoom in. Um, oh gosh, is it those 3 horizontal lines in the corner?
You got it. And then you can go down to open swatch library and it has
Okay.
all these different options.
Okay, so those are like color palette,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
like that you can choose from.
You can choose. And I'll usually do just default swatches and then art and illustration because from there you can pretty much do whatever you want. Like if you have this color and you
Mm-hmm.
want to, I don't want RGB colors. Oh, let's see. Hold on a second. Impression.
Ooh.
Okay. Well, we'll just choose these. That's fine. But there's a lot of different options. Look how pretty those are. Okay. But say I wanted this color and I'll put it over my swatches, but I don't want to change this color. I just want to alter it. So you can drag and drop it and press on this plus button and it makes a
Mm-hmm.
duplicate. Then you can double click it and you can change it to whatever you want.
I see.
But now
Mm-hmm.
I'm not messing with that color. So anyway, you get it. So yeah, so you did a good job. That's it. All right. So now summer party looks great, yada, yada, yada. But I want this bottom part to look like water. Okay. So instead of pink, I want it blue. So if you look, when take my, I didn't take my selection tool because that selects big pieces, even though things are on layers. They created this really well, but of course it's Adobe people, so they created it well. Not all templates are created well. Some are horrible, but you have to figure it out. But of course they created it really well. But I just want the rec selection tool because if you click, you see when I roll over this, how all of these lines are, this is all one piece, you see? Because, and you know it is because when I roll over it with this direct selection tool, this is all one piece, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to change this to a light blue. So what do I have to do?
Um, Select it.
Okay. You can pick any light blue that you see.
Okay. And then, okay, but then, yeah, don't you just like click another
Yeah,
color in this swatches thing?
yeah, simple, right? And it changed them
Okay.
all. Now I want to change this color to a dark blue. So how do I do that?
Um, Select it, but in order to find it or be able to pick it, you should go to layers, right?
Yeah, you can. Sometimes it's easy. Like
Or,
this one is easy because you see what you're getting, but it's not
uh-huh.
always easy. So sometimes it is confusing, but this one's pretty straightforward, but you can always, for sure. So when I click on it, did you see how this
Mm-hmm.
popped up here?
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
And it shows you exactly what it is. You can turn it on and off. So that
It's
is a
nice
way
that
to make sure.
they like labeled it too, even
Yeah,
where it,
this
like
is,
they labeled it as like sun.
yeah, don't get used to this type of template where you know they did everything perfectly, but sometimes you're like, what in the heck? But this is a great template.
What
This
am
is
I
a
looking
great thing. Yeah. So if we click on it, we just click on another color, right?
at? Mm-hmm.
And there you go. All right. So say I don't need 8 p.m. because we want it all day and we don't want to put 8 p.m. So what do I have to do to get rid of that?
Hmm. Do you just select it and hit delete or no?
Yep. Yep, that's it. And you want it now. So now I think this is connected.
Multiple layers.
Yes. So I'm hitting the sun instead of 8 p.m. So I think it's because, yeah, when I lock that text, it locked the 8 p.m. too. So I'll
Mm,
unlock it here in my layer, delete, and then I'll delete the circle. Okay.
mm-hmm. Okay.
So you get the idea. Pretty straightforward, right? But it's nice that Illustrator offers you options to have some templates to work from. And say I wanted summer party, I wanted party smaller, just this size. You know, you can do some things. But again, templates are a good place to practice and start, but you have your own creative mind, that the
Mm-hmm.
Lord's give you. But if you need something quick, this could work. You know what I mean? If you're just doing a quick party for, like, if you had like a kid or something and you just wanted a quick birthday party, do this and then change some things, change some names, and it's done. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
these are really easily editable. You understand the layers panel, and then you understand how to change colors and things, which was great. Okay. Any questions
I
about
would
these?
Something that I've been wondering, and like
Yeah.
one of the reasons that I want to get out of just using Canva is like,
Mm,
you know, like if you're making something for your brand, it's
yeah,
helpful to see templates, and sometimes you'll see something you really like
for sure.
and really fits, and you can change it around, but then you don't want it to be like recognizable as like a template, like, oh, I've seen that before on Canva, or like I know, you know what I mean? And so like, I guess I don't know if you have any insight as to like how much do you need to change to make it like original, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, because like, yeah, I guess it really depends.
Yeah.
Like you,
Well,
there's not like a concrete answer for like this is how much you have to change. It's
right.
just like, you know, but
Right.
like, is it acceptable? Do companies like use templates and that is like passable as, you know, like is that professional standard to use templates sometimes and change it enough?
Yeah.
Or what would you say? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it definitely depends. I think that it's okay to use templates. I mean, plenty of people are using templates. I've used so many templates, for example, in video editing, like when I'm creating like a video announcement, for example, for my church, we'll use an intro that's already been created and then we'll change it. We'll put in
Mhm.
our logo. Sometimes we'll change colors. So yeah, that stuff is definitely acceptable. I think in print work, I think templates, so that's good in video work, right? In
Mhm.
print work, I have found that it's good to use it as an inspiration.
Okay.
Like for example, for the summer party, we could make it look exactly like this, change the names and be done. But then somewhere, somebody out there is going to have the exact same thing. And that's
Right.
not, for this is fine because it's a free template and there's a lot of free resources. I'm also going to give you a list of resources that I have that are just free resources where you can
Cool.
pull different things. But
Mhm.
there's a lot of resources out there. I think that's great. Um, but I think that as a designer, when you're doing graphic design, it's better to use it as a springboard and as a inspiration versus using cookie cutter. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that help?
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
there's a lot. I mean, let me tell you, every designer, and we have a graphic designer. I do video and graphics, but mostly video at work. There's a graphic
Okay.
designer and he's excellent, excellent work. But everybody is like, we're all looking at each other's stuff, designers across the board to get inspiration. And that's okay. Like, it's okay to use it, but take the inspiration and then make it your own somehow. Like, I
Mhm.
would suggest in print work that you use like a cookie cutter. Like, I'm going to use a summer party thing exactly like it is, unless it doesn't matter. Like I said, kid's birthday or something small, who cares, you know? But it's better to use it as inspiration.
Mhm.
Is that
Okay.
answer your
Mhm.
question?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think just like I guess my overall question was just like how legitimate is it to use
Oh yeah, it's
templates like as a but I think that that answers my question. Obviously, just the more original, the better in
yeah. And you can use it
print
like I
world,
said,
especially.
right. And the thing is that you can use templates. There are templates available specifically made for designers. So because not every project's gonna be um this huge like from the ground up design. It's not, we don't always, when you're designing, you don't always have time for that. And that's the benefit of templates. But if you do use a template, that's straight template, okay, even video, print, whatever,
Hmm.
just be sure like if it's just like straight is completely free. There's no there's like you have
Mm.
all the rights. Make sure you have all the commercial rights, you have all the personal rights. You don't download something that just says personal rights, which you probably already know this, but just it's just a friendly reminder. Like if it just says personal use, you can't use it for something that you're going to sell. You already know that, but just because sometimes they'll be very specific in the copyright. If it's like free for commercial,
Yeah.
the things I'm going to send you, the links are free for commercial and personal. That way I just stick with everything that's completely free. That way, down the line, there's no trouble that you can get in because people can call for copyrights, but just be wise as a designer from the beginning. And you can use a
Yeah.
template exactly like it is. But so I think it's accepted more and more because as designers, sometimes you're just doing so many things that you don't have time to spend a day on something. You know what I mean? And it's
Hmm.
very acceptable to use a template. But my personal suggestion is just to use it as more of a inspiration if you can.
Inspiration.
Yeah, if you
Got
can.
it. Yeah.